What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Real Heroes Show. You got Corey, Nick, and Shane with you. And in this video, we are doing a spoiler-filled breakdown and review of the penultimate episode of Season 2 of Ted Lasso, which was entitled Nate's a Big Fat Asshole. I mean, wait, it was entitled Midnight Train to Royston. In this video, we are going to cover a variety of topics, everything that happened with Nate, Ted and Sharon, Roy and Keeley, Rebecca and Sam. If you stick through the end, we're going to make our predictions for the season finale. And before we get started, we have a goal. We're looking for 500 subscribers by the end of the year. You guys can help. It's free. Just click that little subscribe button, like this video. Gents, how we doing today?
Fabulous.
Good. Been in a music festival all weekend, so if I fall asleep on camera, that's why.
Sounds good. I might fall asleep too. So let's get right into this. In my notes, the first topic, it just says in all caps, fuck Nate. So Shane, what are your thoughts on Nate and his 2 betrayals in this episode?
I want to punch him in the face.
Agreed.
We predicted on this show, and we weren't the only ones by any means. The internet predicted kind of this whole thing where Nate was going to betray Ted by exposing the information that Ted revealed, which was that he had a panic attack. And then he kisses Keeley, and we all saw it coming a mile away, and that was super awkward. But it just still was just super uncomfortable, and he was not winning any points with any viewers this week.
Yeah,
no,
not a fan. Nick, how did you feel about all of this? Were you enraged?
Yeah, I mean, again, we knew some of these things were going to happen. We predicted it, and it's. Man, I would have just punched Nate right in the face. I hope that happens in the finale. I don't care who does it; I just hope it happens. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, damn, what an episode!
I know that scene where Jamie's dad is about to beat Beard with the pipe. Mm-hmm. Just put Nate there.
Yes.
Yeah. Can we send Nate down that alleyway and let Jamie's dad and his 2 lackeys kind of just beat him up? Because that would be all right.
We could sick Roy Kent on him.
Yes.
For episode 2.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that Trent Krim, the Independent, is a total bro. For giving up his source. That is not journalistic integrity whatsoever, but he's just being a good bro.
Yeah, that was the respect. And I love how even in his text message, hey, Ted, it's Trent Krim, the Independent.
It's not even in the same text bubble. It's
separate. He gave you he has your contact. He knows who you are.
He knows who you are.
Yeah. I'm gonna start texting people hi, it's Shane, the Independent.
Or put your Instagram handle in the next bubble or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Your photography.
Hey, it's Nick from The Real Hero. It's Nick.
Yeah, that's right.
Next line, The Real Hero Show.
I love it, man. That's great. So obviously we're going to have some fallout that comes from that, but it was interesting, like you said, Shane, journalistic integrity, usually anyone, whether it's sports or movies or political stuff, it is always just a source or 2 sources, or people will sometimes cross-reference what they hear from folks. They never give that kind of stuff up, and it's very interesting that Ted has earned Trent Krim's respect in the course of these 2 seasons, to the point where he did that. It was pretty cool. I also saw a picture of the guy that plays Trent Krim on Twitter the other day without the long hair, and it was like, Nick, when you cut your hair for the first time in 3 years, and I was like, who the hell is this person? I don't even know who he is. But yeah, he had a birthday a week or so ago, so happy birthday, Trent Krim, actor.
Wait, did he cut his hair, or is it just a wig?
I think he just wears a wig.
Oh wow, damn, that's kind of, I was hoping that hair was real and just amazing.
Yeah.
But
that is a mane that he's got.
Well, guess what? My dreams have been shattered. So, wow, I've been lied to. And Ted Lasso, I feel like someone told me St. Louis wasn't real. So,
anyway, back to Nate being a total schmuck. Let's talk about this kiss with Keeley, because in the real world, as a human being with a heart, you don't just walk up to a coworker's girlfriend and kiss them, because you know that they're in a relationship with your coworker. So I get that people have impulses and urges and whatnot, but like, what was with that?
I mean, you could tell it was coming a mile away, right? Like it's the entire time, like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Please don't now.
Yeah, and it was just awkward. And I was like, oh wow, now where's the fallout going to take place? And Keeley handled it very well because she's like, it's okay, it's all right, it's fine. That these things happen. It's okay. And so that was very professional of her. But then Nate's like, oh no, of course it's not okay. I'm a wanker, and he goes back into the little
spit on the mirror
locker room and spits on himself, and it's like a reflection of himself. Like, that's cool, bro. But again, that's just one of the shitty things that he did in this episode. So it's.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that the scene with the kiss and then where he spits at himself in the mirror, do you think that's before he gives up the info to the Independent or after?
I think he may have done it directly after.
Really?
Because like going back a couple episodes, like the spitting on the mirror thing was his like way of being assertive, and that's like his form of dominance.
Sure. Yeah.
And so like I think he does that and then does something dominant, which is giving up Ted in that instance.
All right. Well,
but like it speaks to how well written this show is, that like on one hand I want to punch Nate in the face, on the other hand I totally understand where he's coming from. Like you could tell he's like, he has never been in that situation before in his entire life. And like he sees, Keeley has just been complaining about Roy for not doing this stuff with her, and then like she's really close, she's fixing his collar. It's like he's like, this is the movies, this is what happens, I'm supposed to kiss the girl, and he does it and it doesn't work.
Because she's saying like sometimes you just got to do it, right? Like almost like he thinks that she's telling him to go for it, and it's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yes.
And when he stepped out of the room with that suit on, she was like, oh my god, you look hot.
Yeah, because he looks like Roy Kent.
Exactly.
And you're not Roy Kent.
Yeah, he went for
one's fucking Roy Kent.
He went for the Voldemort in
except for Roy fucking
Kent. Harry Potter movie suit.
Yeah. All black
for that one.
All black, everything.
Black. But so speaking of Keeley, let's get into her and Roy. Look at me, best segue in the business on this one into our second topic of the show. This hurt.
Oh man, I think I said this to you, Corey, but it like that hit me like right through the soul, like through the chest, out the back.
Yeah,
I felt it for Roy. Because after that moment happened when they were getting they're trying on the suits and the dresses, and then he wasn't really looking forward to doing this, but he just kind of musters it up and gets it, and compliments Keeley for how she looks, and he just builds her up and just being like the man literally, and just kisses her, or she kisses him after like all the the nice stuff that he says, and to it leading to that part on the couch where it's just truth blow after blow, but it's that final blow that hurts the most. And I mean, I even think how how Roy handles it, when Keeley tells him, he's like, oh, I bet that was awkward, like, not like, what,
right. However, when she does it to Jamie, or when she mentions Jamie, it's a totally different reaction.
Oh, well, yeah. And I think Corey, you and I were talking about this, but it's like, even when he tells Keeley, I was talking with Phoebe's teacher for 3 hours. I don't really think anything of that, because nothing happened really. I mean, he got to see Phoebe's drawings and kind of have some conversations. And
man,
I like the line where he's about to say fun.
Fun. Yes,
that was so good.
That was good. The drawings were exquisite.
Yeah, man. What great tits.
I mean, terrific. And then Roy bought them.
And then Roy bought them all. So, but they had the moment where she tells Roy that Jamie told me he still loves me. Just that look in his eyes and his face. I'm like,
So didn't they have a moment in a prior episode where they like told each other the truth? I'm trying to remember back where they like alternated truths, or did somebody else do that? I can't remember. I feel like it was Roy and Keeley.
Yeah.
So they were repeating that, and I thought that was a cool little callback. I wanted to point out that like that scene after where they're getting their photos taken and they're looking at the camera and there's like this sense of dread.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have y'all seen The Graduate? Because
maybe
there's a very famous scene in The Graduate where at the very end of the movie, they like, spoiler alert, he like runs off with this girl and they're all happy and like laughing and everything like that. And then like the last frame of the movie is them staring directly into the camera and they're like, oh shit, now what? And if that wasn't a perfect call, like I would be shocked if it wasn't a callback for that movie. It's a very famous scene, and if you've seen 500 Days of Summer, they reference that Tom's entire like thoughts on romance was a misreading of the movie The Graduate. The Graduate is not a love story, but like you could totally see it as one. But if you misread it, you could think it's romantic, but it's not a romantic movie. Right. It's a depressing movie. But this is kind of what I saw with that. So I think they might be inferring that not all is well with Roy and Keeley.
This was also depressing. So
yeah,
for Roy.
On the other hand, though, like Roy and the teacher have some chemistry,
dude.
So I put that on my notes. I was like, Roy and Phoebe's teacher connection. Because I like when she tells all the names about the kids that make fun of her, and she says "fuckwitch" is her favorite one.
Yep.
I thought it was fitting for October too, so but man,
there was one other thing with that scene, and Nick, we kind of talked about this a little earlier today, and Shane, you'll latch onto this because you're a photographer too. In between the photographer switching lenses is when all of this stuff drops, right? And the photographer says to her assistant, I need the 85. So in the photography world, for those who are uneducated on that, an 85 millimeter is a telephoto lens that is usually done for close-up headshot photography. They have this conversation right before all of those photos get taken, and then the two of them are just like staring off into space. So the photos that come at the end of that are going to all be like right up in their faces. You're going to see all of that dread on there. And I don't know if that was done intentionally, but I thought it was brilliant and really, really cool stuff. So
as a photographer, I can totally relate to that moment where she's like, I gotta switch lenses, just don't move.
Stay right where you are. I'm going from the 24 to the 85. Which they were shooting Sony. I don't know if you saw that, Shane. That's
I didn't see that.
That's our brand is A7's up in there. So all right, so let's get into Ted and Sharon, and the son of a bitch stole her move at the end with the Irish goodbye. So I thought this was really strong
Goodwill
stuff.
Hunting, right? Goodwill Hunting, son of a bitch stole my move.
Is that a reference to that?
I think it is.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, fun stuff there. It felt like Ted was having a little bit of a tough time with her just bouncing because he's got abandonment issues, right?
Yeah, and he comes out and like just gets a little testy, I don't say angry, but he's kind of throwing a little toot there.
What does he say about her riding up with the bike? He like insults her for riding the weird bike.
Oh, I forget what the line was, but he does say something like that. But I mean, again, when he's like, I don't know, read your stupid dang note, and then he just says, he goes, fine, I'll read it. And he starts reading it. I mean, I that was one of my favorite scenes though too, is because he starts to read it. He's like,
the facial acting that Jason Sudeikis does in that scene is very good.
Yeah, and then because you got like the somber music that goes along with it, and then you just kind of like. And I really want to know what the fuck it said. I thought I was going to read it out loud. And I'm like, wow, y'all are just going to throw that on us?
I feel like we might get it. Like in the first episode, we didn't get the retirement speech, and then we got it after.
I'm thinking maybe like the letter, it will be like on the table in its place. And that's sort of like one of the last things like the camera kind of focuses in on.
It could be fun.
I could see that.
That means we're gonna have to pause it and then read it, because they might not give us enough time to actually
like all of Beard's texts from Jane.
Four of them.
Exactly. So I mean, I thought it was. We still don't know who ACM is in the pinball machine because they still have the first slot on there.
But we know who SMF is. Sexy motherfucker.
Yes. Yeah. So that
Dude,
was
Sharon had some of the best lines
great.
of this whole episode for me.
She did.
Yeah,
she really did.
Awesome.
She did. The other thing I was going to say about with Nate real quick. I mean, Corey, you and I talked about this earlier, but he doesn't like sharing tactics, right? And that's what being a coach or or assistant coaches are all about.
Yeah.
It's the head coach that is responsible for his staff, for praises and for critique.
Sure.
So I'm like, Nate, you were on a team, a club, you should know these things. So what are you doing? Just throwing a little hissy fit there? Like,
hey man, the segment from earlier holds true. It was entitled "Fuck Nate," and fuck Nate. That hasn't changed. So,
yeah,
he's a shit. But yeah, so I loved how Ted carried the bike up into the apartment, even though he was pissed off. He was still a gentleman enough to walk
because it folded this time,
right?
Yeah, and he's like, man, it's much easier to carry it up when it's all folded.
Yeah,
that stuff was good. The army man left in the beer.
The beer,
was very good, and then the bartender quickly serving another one.
Yeah, here's one with nothing in it.
Yeah, British humor, tons of fun. Sharon giving expert advice to the three hooligans.
Yep.
And then them getting shoot away was a lot of fun.
See, I love that we got the Beard After Hours episode because we look at those guys a whole lot more, like with more empathy than just like the random people.
I agree.
So that also makes you wonder, like, was the Beard After Hours episode written like after all this stuff was already thought up? Or like I'm so curious about the process. Like, when did Apple ask for the extra 2 episodes?
From what I have read, it seems like they wrote 10 episodes, so they wrote this whole season, and then they wanted 2 more, and they kind of picked up ideas that they had going into it that fell by the wayside, and then wrote into there. So they may have swapped stuff around a little bit. So it's like, now that we have the Beard After Hours, we might focus on 1 or 2 things in this later episode to kind of key off of it.
Yeah, because that was good. That was my thought, was maybe it was something that they had thought about on the side, like another idea that they could explore at some point. But it's like, can we make it into an entire episode? Maybe not, because of everything else that we've got going on. So, but I'm guessing when Apple was like, hey, we need 2 more, and they're like, oh, actually we can do the beard thing.
Yeah.
And
apparently
Christmas,
it was Jason Sudeikis who said that they should do the beard one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, this is his show, man.
Yes.
This is his baby.
He's going to win the Emmy again. Like, with the acting the past 2 episodes, of course.
Yeah, he's better in this season than he was in the first season.
Yeah.
Which is he just won the Emmy for. So this is going to be like a Bryan Cranston and Breaking Bad type thing.
Yeah, just
every year. Wins the Emmy every year for the next like 3 or 4 years, which is fine. So, so
for 5 seasons.
Cool. We got to close a chapter. Oh, we have to talk about the NSYNC choreography thing.
Oh man,
about Dr. Sharon, because that was hysterical. That when the team celebrates, when Beard says, "I think we got it, that's it," and they're tearing their shirts off like they just scored like a goal in the biggest match of their careers.
Yeah,
all over an NSYNC dance. That
great moment.
Absolutely killed me.
Speaking of goals.
Yes.
Someone got 3 goals on that episode.
Yes, look at that. Another terrific segue in this episode of the Real Heroes Show. Man of the match himself, Sam Adesanya. So he has a very rich fella who's from Ghana, I believe, right?
Ghana, yep.
And knows the real Banksy.
Yeah.
That killed me. Banksy's just like an overweight white dude. That is predictable. But yeah, so we predicted this either last episode or a couple episodes back that one of the plot threads that was going to happen was that Sam was going to get lured away from the team, and that was going to bring upon some tension with Rebecca, who still didn't know if she was on or off with him relationship wise. Guys, this stuff, it also hurt. This episode's just been a lot of hurt for me. Tough stuff to see, like, because you could tell that Sam was genuinely happy doing all the things that he did, and the seed was planted in his brain about going home and playing with fellow, folks from Africa, and Africa winning the World Cup, and, all this stuff that kind of got put in his head, which part of it might be true, part of it might be total bullshit. Everyone's been lured away from a job before by false promises from something, I'm sure. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about whether or not you think Sam's going to end up going, and how that's going to strain his maybe not relationship with Rebecca.
I think he will. I think he's going.
I think he's going. All right.
Because I think if we're thinking about this whole season as The Empire Strikes Back, Sam is gone. Roy and Keeley are going to break up, or something's going to happen. Like, it's all going to be bad, except for maybe they get promoted. Nate's going to leave. We'll talk about the predictions, but like, because of how this season seems to be trending, like going into the next season, it would make the most sense if Sam left, and we keep that sexual tension for a while. Yeah. Nick, you're going to disagree with me based on your view.
No,
do it. Fight. Controversy creates cash. Subscribe.
Yeah, no, I even had like, what would you guys do in this position if you were Sam? Because, I agree though. Like, he's 24. He literally has his whole life ahead of him, and it's sort of like that advice that you don't really get often. And I think getting that sort of advice could potentially one in a lifetime opportunity. And I think the time he has with Edwin is obviously just like magical. He tells his dad about it, and and it's not just to woo him over, but just simply this is just a mere taste of what you could experience more often. And again, nothing against Rebecca, but I mean, he literally has his whole life ahead of him. And I mean, like, what if he wants kids? You know what I mean? I mean, like, and starts a family. Like, there's a lot to think about. And I mean, he could literally, blow up to be even bigger than he is right now. Yeah. So I almost feel like if he doesn't go, I might actually be really upset that he blows that opportunity, because if I were in his shoes, I would go, because there's plenty of other, fish in the sea. It's true.
This is the part where we hope that Nick's girlfriend is not watching the show.
I mean, no, I am the opportunity. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, hey, now that's confidence right there. What's confidence? Yeah. I've never had that in my life before.
Hey, guess what? I didn't even spit in the mirror to do that either. So
well played. Well played.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck Nate. But yeah, like and the other thing is, Edwin's like, you have all the time in the world, but I need it answered in 72 hours. Like,
he's
not all the time in the world,
right? Because he's like, I'm a billionaire who doesn't think they should exist, but then he's like buying out the restaurants and stuff. He's like,
I paid this whole museum full of actors. I brought friends in for this restaurant. Like, do you believe him? I almost don't. Right? Like, because I could see two things happening. He's real, and this is a great opportunity for Sam. It pretends to be real. It backfires, and then Sam's like, "Well, I'm back if y'all have room for me."
I think that's what's going to happen. You take him away, and then you bring him back.
Right.
So here's another thing I noticed that I wrote down. And again, Ted even points out that Rebecca comes down to have a little TED talk at the same time last year.
Yep.
And of course, Rebecca just spills the beans, and Ted's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let me give you some advice. Don't listen to me. Just listen to your heart and your gut." And it's real advice to take to heart. But then when she leaves, Ted kind of has a look. He just kind of one of those.
Are you pushing your theory that Ted and Rebecca will end up together?
I think I don't know about getting together, but I think Ted does have some sort of feeling for Rebecca, and I don't want to say he was jealous by any means, but I wonder if it's one of those things where he might not feel that he can be as open or close to her. Like, I wonder if that will I don't want to say fraction their relationship, because I think Ted's obviously just, more mature than that, but
Sure.
there's going to be some sort of disconnect, or it seems like there's just a slight disconnect with, how he just didn't like that, right? Like Sharon's gone. Now Rebecca could potentially be gone in a matter of sense too. So it's just like, man, like now I'm losing everyone. I'm happy for her, but now I'm losing her too, because who knows, what I'll actually get to have as a friend. But
so I took that look a little bit differently, because after she says like, see you next year, right? And then he has that look. So my thought is maybe he was thinking about quitting.
Gonna leave.
And I think like this might come out in the finale, is that he was thinking about quitting. And he's like, the coaching staff is fine without me. And then this
Nate's
neat thing
betrayal.
happens.
Ooh, I
and
like
it offsets that plan. So now he's got something to work towards. I think that might be what it was implying.
Man, and then season 3 is Ted Lasso 3, Lasso with a Vengeance.
Yes.
I like it.
Lasso versus Nate in the finale of the season 3
on Mustafar with blue lightsabers.
I guess now we're into predictions, right?
Let's share one prediction each. Keep it to 30 seconds, or else I'll mute you. Go.
Shane, go first.
Oh God. Okay. My prediction in the end of season 3, Beard and Jane break up. Nate leaves to be on what's his name, Rupert's new Premier League team. I think they do get promoted, and the fight is going to be against Rupert's new team and Nate as the coach. I think people have predicted that maybe Roy proposes to Keeley. I think something like that is going to happen, and it's going to actually fracture them. It's not going to be happy at the end of this season. I think Ted was thinking about leaving, but he may not. Those are my rapid fire predictions.
All right. I asked for 1. I got like 4. So thank you for that. Nick.
I agree. I think Nate will leave. I think Roy's going to punch Jamie in the face. I think he'll also propose to Keeley. I don't know if she'll say yes. I think Ted's going to be the one to fire Nate. And I think Ted might say something to Rebecca about the whole relationship thing. But I think Sam will obviously leave. I don't know if Beard and Jane will.
I feel like it's unresolved, right? Like, why spend all the time on it if it's not going to be at the end of the season?
Maybe. And we'll get some more Trent Krim from the Independent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we need to have him again.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while, so we just saw text. That's not good enough. Yeah. That fake hair.
The proposal thing is very interesting to me. I didn't think about that at all, but
I thought it was under this episode.
I've read it on, like, that's predicted on a couple Reddit threads too.
I think it would be perfect if he proposed and she said no, and that was the last scene you get of the two of them for this season, and then they just make you stew in that for like a year. My main prediction, for as far as I can remember, was that Ted was going to leave the club or get promoted into management or something, but this episode threw a complete and total wrench into that. But I think my prediction, it might be a little bit of a wild one just given his personality and whatnot, but I think that Ted is going to blow up on Nate in the clubhouse in front of the players, and the players are going to see his dark side, like his true dark side, not the Led Tasso goofy dark side, but like an actual angry Ted for the first time, and they're going to have no idea how to handle it.
It's Led Tasso.
But release your anger.
Unlimited power.
So if I really hope we get some Star Wars references next episode too.
Yeah, this show's been good at them. They've had plenty. So
they need to like have a scene in the end where, like, Ted and Rebecca are like, next to R2D2, and they're looking out a window.
It's an over the shoulder shot, and there's hope for season 3, just like the end of Empire. Yeah,
they all jump into light speed.
Very cool. All right, well, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a phenomenal episode. Shane, what do you think?
I'll go 9 as well.
Nick?
Yeah, I was going to say 9.
9's across the board. I love it. It's a
9.
Easy way for us to wrap this episode up and take it home before next week. So we're going to do things a little bit differently next week for the finale. I haven't even told Shane this, but this is what we're doing. We're all going to watch the episode as it premieres at midnight Eastern time on Thursday and post up our review on Friday. So you'll actually get a double dose of Ted Lasso for us this week. And then on Monday, what we're going to do is on Monday evening, we're going to do a live stream, and people might show up, people might not, but we're going to sit on a live stream on YouTube, probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so, and post-mortem this entire season. Talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, talk about predictions for season 3, and take questions from the theoretical audience that may or may not show up to our first ever live stream. So be ready for that. Just want to get that out in the air now, so that way we actually do it. We don't chicken out. We'd love to hear from you guys. To drop us a comment below. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what your predictions are heading into the season finale, and we will respond to every comment that comes through. If you'd like to support us, like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are trying to get to 500 by the end of the year. At the time of this recording, we got about 117 left to go. So if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. If you also have already subscribed, tell a friend, have them come by and get their fix of movies, TVs, and Blu-ray reviews. So we'll be back later this week. Some Foundation, season finale, Marvel's What If. Got movie reviews for The Guilty, The Many Saints in Newark. We had a Venom video that went up yesterday. Tons of stuff on the channel and so much more coming. So stay tuned for all of that. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Also, fuck Nate.
Fuck Nate.
I love it. Out.